Good morning.
Oh, we are live. Good morning. Sorry, the book is covering up the dot, and so I couldn't see. And then I looked up there and I was like, oh yeah, it's solid. So I was just waiting.
Waiting. And then, boom! It is Wednesday, July the 6th. Let's get started. Meet me, O Christ, in this stillness of morning, now that the lawnmower has stopped. Move me, O Spirit, to quiet my heart. Mend me, O Father, from yesterday's harms. From the discords of yesterday, resurrect my peace. From the discouragements of yesterday, resurrect my hope. From the weariness of yesterday, resurrect my strength. From the doubts of yesterday, resurrect my faith. From the wounds of yesterday, resurrect my love. Let me enter this new day aware of my need and awake to your grace, O Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, well, with it being Wednesday, we talk about creativity. So, you want to talk about creativity?
Creativity. Do it your way.
Do it your way. Okay? What do you mean by that?
So, if you're thinking about somebody who's an artist, painter, sketcher, whatever, what's a mental image that comes to your mind about their approach to painting or drawing?
I don't know, because it's just like, look, it's there.
There. Well, and I think that's really the idea, is that a lot of times our mentality is, well, somebody who is artistic can just take a blank slate and do awesome things with it.
Oh.
And just jump in and do, and they don't necessarily need a plan, they just need to jump in and do. And so if you have to have a plan, or if you have to do it with a template or something like that, then you must not be creative.
Oh.
So does that mean then that because I am a checklist person, I am a plan person, I need to have, for example, before I go into the kitchen, I need a recipe. I can't just walk into the kitchen and start pulling stuff out of the cabinets and create something. So does that mean that I have no ability to be artistic in the kitchen? I can't, I can't create. I like to knit, but I can't just create something out of. I need a pattern. I need a system. I need a plan. I can't just sit down with a ball of yarn and start knitting and be like, oh, hey, look what this turned out to be. So does that mean that I'm not creative with knitting? And I think that that's been something that has hampered me in my creativity for many, many years, because I've never been able to just sit down and start. I've always needed a plan, a checklist. I need to have, if I don't have the plan laid out and all of the resources on hand to be able to complete it, I am not likely to finish it. So it can't be that I just get started and then I'm like, oh, and if I had this, well, let me just put this on hold. I'll go get this. Or I'll start on this while I'm waiting to get this, and then I'll come back and finish. I can't do that. I need to have it laid out. I need to know what I need. I need to get what I need. Like, I'm going to be making t-shirt quilts. I need
T-shirts.
Well, I have t-shirts. Just need to get them out of the attic when it's not stupid hot. So
Not working on those till December.
Wait. I want to get Stevens done before he graduates, but other than that, that will wait.
Fortunately, the boy's going to law school. He doesn't know it yet, but he's going to law school, so he won't graduate until...
I want to finish it before he graduates from high school.
Oh, sorry.
I want him to have it, but he's got 2 years, so...
5 years.
2. So anyway, does the fact that I need instructions and all that make me not creative with the quilt? And that's, I think I've proceeded under that assumption for many, many years, for most of my life. And I think that I'm just starting to realize that, in the past couple of years, I've just started to realize that maybe it is okay to need a template, a pattern, a checklist, and to still be able to describe myself as creative. I don't have to come up with some unique, original idea to be creative. All I have to do is I can start with a pattern and a plan and a checklist and all that. I just need to make it mine. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So, for example, if I don't really have an interest in painting, but if I were to start learning how to paint and I were to learn by doing the paint by number stuff, and my creativity was just to, change a color here or there, or to have the brushstrokes be my style, that would still be creative. It'd just be my type of creativity. So that's what I mean by doing creativity your way.
That makes sense. That's, and I think this is a space where sometimes we would say, okay, well, yeah, sure, sort of, but really some of the greatest art forms really are that, one of the things that is fascinating, we do look at painters, to go back to painters, and say, oh, look what a genius, this painter was. But these days, with the very light analysis that we're able to do on some of the great masterpiece paintings, with the exception, I believe, of Vermeer, we find all of them have sketch marks.
Mm-hmm. And we think and the recent
there's some interesting
contemplation thinks that Vermeer
may have
projector
may have really done something, but they the Mona Lisa doesn't just simply spring full form from Da Vinci. He doesn't. He sketches and then fills in the paint. So
and he also had a model.
And he had a model to work from.
Van Gogh painted a yellow chair. He had something to look at.
It wasn't like he had never seen a chair before. That's now you get somebody who's never seen a chair before to paint a chair. I mean, Da Vinci's still a genius because dude sketched a helicopter. That's pretty cool, considering when he lived.
There were no helicopters. Just as a spoiler there.
Spoiler alert. In the same way, when you look at writing, on the one hand, there's we want our writing to transcend the classic 5-point essay, and yet some very great writing can be done that way. There is a format I'm supposed to follow with my dissertation, and yet you can still put creativity into that. In poetry, you ever tried to really write powerful haiku, or to write an acrostic poem, or to write a sonnet? There are, when you have these, I need to do this within this form. Some of the best music that is written still follows, verse, chorus, bridge, outro. I mean, that's that's a pop song, that's a country song, that's a rock song. Why do we, the chord structure for Jolene by Dolly Parton is not complex, but yet she did that creativity in her own way that then you go, oh, various things like that. So yeah, you do it in your own way, and if that means, hey, I'm going to work with this form, then you work with that form. Shakespeare was not the originator of the 5-act play, and yet he worked with that form. We tend to go, oh, but look how Walt Whitman free verse, and look at what poetry is, and poetry doesn't have to rhyme, and doesn't have to this, and doesn't have to that. But then you go back and you look and go, okay, so Shakespeare wasn't a genius using sonnet form? For crying out loud, there's 2 major forms of sonnets in English literature, and one of them's called the Shakespearean sonnet. So what if it's right by numbers? I mean, that's really, because it fits in and fills in that way. So yeah, I think that's good. I think do it, let it fit within who you are and use what you've got. And to go back to the kitchen, there's a good many Southern folk who have picked up, after years of neglect, picked up Granny and Great Granny's recipe box, and they can look at Great Granny's recipe for homemade biscuits. And Great Granny followed that recipe. That's the ingredients list, that's the temperature she cooked at. But there's not 1 in 100 who, when they bite into that biscuit, go, yeah, that tastes just like Great Granny's biscuits. There was something in the artistry and the creativity that learned, and the person who's following that recipe still was able to put in a way, and to do it in a way that it comes out better. So, anyway. So, yes, you are creative.
As are you. And it's not more or less, it's just different.
It's just different. Because some of us are great.
But we all have, we're made in the image of God, so we all have an essence of creativity within
This is
us.
true.
It's just going to be different.
And as to Vermeer, pick up a copy of Russ Ramsey's book, Rembrandt is in the Wind, and learn about Vermeer.
Oddly enough.
One chapter is about Rembrandt. It's about art in general, okay? It focuses on several artists, but yeah, I believe it was Vermeer, wasn't it? Yeah,
I think that's what you said.
that's what I said. So,
Yeah.
all right.
I know it was a Dutch artist. So. All right.
So it was
Psalm
Rembrandt,
19.
but it wasn't Rembrandt.
It wasn't Rembrandt. Psalm 19, 7 and 8.
7 and 8.
The instruction
Of the Lord is perfect, renewing one's life. The testimony of the Lord is trustworthy, making the inexperienced wise. The precepts of the Lord are right, making the heart glad. The command of the Lord is radiant, making the eyes light up. Rev 21, 1 through 6, I believe.
I believe so. Then I saw a new heaven and new earth. For the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and the sea was no more. I also saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared like a bride adorned for her husband. Then I heard a loud voice from the throne. Look, God's dwelling is with humanity, and he will live with them. They will be his peoples, and God himself will be with them, and will be their God. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes. Death will be no more. Grief, crying, and pain will be no more, because the previous things have passed away. Then the one seated on the throne said, Look, I am making everything new. He also said, Write, because these words are faithful and true. Then he said to me, It is done. I am the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give freely to the thirsty from the springs of the water of life. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you that you made us creative. Thank you that you are shaping us for that new heaven and new earth, and that you're shaping us for life with you through eternity. In your holy name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Alexa, turn off the ring light.